Well, hello, guys. Thank you for coming back to another one of Jessica's episodes. Today, I am with the amazing, beautiful, spiritual Monique Green. She is also a cancer survivor, just like me. And I'm going to give her the podium here so that she can tell you a little bit more about her story and how it is that me and her came to be. The reason for my video today is to share our journeys with all of you. Why? Because most patients do not discuss either A, alternatives that are out there, or B, a lot of us go into isolation and don't want to talk about the things that they're going through. If we start talking between patients on what our journeys are like, then maybe between our education, your education, and everybody putting all their knowledge, we can beat the odds together. And I believe that with all my heart. It's taken me 7 years to learn what I know today. And I love sharing my story with all of you because for me, every life matters. In 2020, I became a book author. In my book, I talk about nutrition. I talk about secrets that I have done that have helped my journey in itself. However, I do believe that every cancer is different. Everybody's body is different. And I want to start bringing other patients on and talking about things that can make a difference. So without further ado, Monique Green, I want you to introduce yourself and let the people and the world know who Monique Green is.
Well, thank you, Jessica. Thank you so much. And I just really and truly appreciate you for asking me to be on your show, your podcast. What an honor. I just love you to death.
Oh, thank you. Likewise.
Yes, yes. So my name is Monique Green. Yes, and I am originally from New York City. I reside here in Raleigh, North Carolina now. I've been here 25 years. And in 2008, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, and I was stage 2 at that time in 2008. Well, before I get into that, first let me say, look, I am a married woman with 2 beautiful gifts from God, 2 boys, and they are 32 and 21 years old, Tyrell and Damien. I forgot about that.
Good looking kids. Let me tell you, I see a lot of their pictures, just like mama, fashion forward, elegant, and good looking boys. Let me just say.
Thank you. Thank you so
Go
much.
ahead, girl.
My wonderful husband, Emmanuel Green. Yes, and we've been married 11 years together, 12. So
Okay.
still going strong, you know. Marriages work, you know, everything, about marriages work, even a relationship. So
Yes.
we're still making it. We're still, married and still loving one another through it all. Yes. And I met my husband, as a matter of fact, at the end of my cancer journey in 2008. So when I was first diagnosed in 2008, like I was saying before, I was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, and I was stage 2. So I had ductal carcinoma in situ, and I had estrogen positive cancer, which means it's estrogen fed. So it's a hormonal cancer. And I went through my treatments, for the year. I had a year of, chemo and radiation, lost my hair, went through all of my treatments, and I was even out of work, I think, for that year, so that I can, go through my treatments and everything and just, just get my body back to, the way it should be, after my treatments. So, went through all of my treatments in 2008, and I was cancer free for like 10 years. So it came back in 2017. I wasn't feeling very good. I had never in my life had taken on 2 jobs. So I said, I'm going to work a part-time job. So in 2017, I had started working a part-time job, and I was cleaning like daycares, just cleaning the daycares and everything after the children leave. Me and my husband took that position on. And so maybe like 6 to 7 months into my part-time job, my body started hurting. And I'm like, what is going on with my body? So really, I was in the doctors in the emergency rooms for the next 6 months, trying to find out what's going on with my body. Why am I hurting? So that was probably in May, the first time I went to the doctor. So they couldn't find anything, took blood work and everything, couldn't find nothing. And this was ongoing. So up until September, I went to the doctor again. I said, look, y'all have to do something. Something's going on. I said, it's got to be something. Nothing hurts your body like this, and it's nothing.
Yeah.
So
you know your body more than anything, and your body was telling you something's wrong.
Right. Something's going on. So I said, y'all need to do some further testing or something. I don't know what y'all do, but y'all need to do something. So they did some more blood work. They said, we're going to do some blood work again, see what's going on. Okay, they did that again. They said, we don't see anything. I think, what you have is fibromyalgia. I said, okay. I took it, I said, it's fibromyalgia. Okay. So it was getting to the point where in September, when I was going to the daycare, my second job, my part-time job, I could barely lift my arms to clean the windows and everything on the daycare doors or anything. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't clean the little baby sinks, bend down. Everything started getting worse. My back started hurting, my hips, everything. I couldn't even, like I said, I couldn't even lift my hand to even clean the sinks or anything, or wash the, the windows on the doors. So I said, something's going on.
Was it just pain at the time, or did you have more fatigue too?
It was more pain than anything. It was more so just pain. So it got to the point where I think it was probably November. I couldn't barely walk. I said, okay, now I don't think this is fibromyalgia where you could barely walk. So, I had to get help from my husband, from my sons to even help me get dressed, take off my clothes. I couldn't put on makeup. That's how hard it was to even lift my hands. I said, okay, something's going on. I need to find me another doctor, because my primary care at that time was kind of just shooting me off. Like, it's just fibromyalgia. That's what you were diagnosed with. So that's probably what it is. So I said, okay, you're not listening to me. Okay, so let me find somebody else. So I went on, I found another primary care doctor who I wasn't happy with, because I was with my old primary care doctor for years. And sometimes when something ain't broke, they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? So I found a new primary care doctor. She was very cold. She wasn't very, like, even if you came into my office, I'm going to smile, I'm going to greet you as a doctor. She didn't even do that. She wouldn't smile or anything. So I said, okay, I know I'm not going to like this doctor, but let me see what's going on with me right now. Let me just, not switch another doctor right now. Let her check me out, see what's going on. So she did that. She took some blood work and everything. And I came back to her office, I think maybe 2 days later, for the results of my blood test. And she said, your blood test was kind of, she said, it looks kind of skeptical to me. That's what she said. It looks kind of skeptical. She said, because it's showing that your enzymes, your liver enzymes are high, and something with your bones. So she said, it's called your alkaline phosphatase, right? She said, so usually when your alkaline phosphatase is high, that's usually a sign of bone and liver disease. I'm like, what in the world is she talking about, bone and liver disease? She said, I want to take some blood work again just to see if they come back high again. So she did more blood work. I came back the next day they were in. I took blood work Thursday. It was that Thursday I went in there. I took more blood work. And usually how they do like a My Chart where you could look online and see your results, like your doctor visits. So what happened was I had just signed up, for the My Chart thing. They said, sign up for your My Chart. So like anytime you go to the doctor, you could look at your results and stuff online. Yeah. So I was doing that, not knowing that my results would be, on there for my blood work, because I wasn't looking for that. I was just trying to sign up for the My Chart.
Yeah.
So I happened to look on there Friday, the next day, after I set up, my chart. And as soon as I set it up, it said results, results are in for your, I guess, your visit, that you had such and such. So I happened to open it just to see. And it, I started seeing like the results from my blood work. And it said, what did it say? Description of something, or description of results. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, I started reading the description, and it said, oh my Lord, I just went blank. Sorry. See,
was it like a cancer bone metastasis?
Yeah, it says something like, findings too numerous to count. It said widespread metastatic disease or something like that. Osseous metastatic disease or something. And at first I didn't know. I'm like, wait a minute, that metastatic sounds familiar. I've heard that word before, but I didn't know. At first I'm like, that, I think that has something to do with cancer. That's what came to my head. I'm like, I've heard metastatic before. So when it said like widespread, that kind of like got to me. I'm like, what do they mean? Widespread osseous disease. That's what it said. Osseous disease, too numerous to count. And it started naming like different bones and everything. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? So anyway, the whole weekend I'm panicked now. I don't have an appointment with her till Monday.
That's the worst.
So, yeah. So when I got there Monday, she called me in, and not a hello, how you doing, or anything. I'm like, she just was cold. You know, she's one of them cold doctors. Like,
yeah,
why are you in the medical field? You know, that's how I felt. So anyway, she said, have a seat. You know, so I sat down. Me and my husband came. My husband came with me that day, and she said, have a seat. So I said, hold on, before you even say anything. I said, let me ask you this. I said, because I looked on my chart and seen results. You know, I was telling her what I seen. She said, well, first, let me apologize. She said, let me interrupt you here. She said, but let me first apologize. She said, because those results wasn't supposed to be on my chart. Yeah, she said, I didn't tell nobody to post the results up there. I told them that I will, you know, see you on Monday and let you know results. So how they got up there, I didn't know. So isn't that something? So I found out that Friday by looking, just going online to, you know, even sign up for my chart. I found that out, and I panicked the whole weekend and was worried and everything, anxiety on high and everything. But anyway, so I asked, I said, are y'all, is this description saying, I said, I seen something that said metastasis. I said, isn't metastasis have something to do with cancer? She said, yes. I said, so is that result saying I have cancer? She said, yes. I'm sorry to say, yeah, you have cancer and it's stage 4. I'm like, OMG. Me and my husband just broke down crying. I was like, I said, stage 4, isn't that like the last stage? She was like, yeah, it is. You know, she said, and honestly, there's nothing more I can do here. So she said, like, that's out of my hands now. So she said, you're going to have to get set up with an oncologist. So I'm like, oh Lord. So that's when everything started, you know, coming together.
This was at what year? What year was this, Monique?
2018. In December, they diagnosed me with cancer. So of 2017, the end of December. Yep. I was, diagnosed with stage 4, and I couldn't believe it. So, you know, I went into my oncologist's office. She sat me down and she said, yes, stage 4, that's considered terminal. And, you know, there's no cure for it. And, you know, all we can do is treat it and slow down, you know, progression. So I was tore up, you know. Yeah. So I'm like, you know, the first time when I was told by the primary care, you know, I was devastated. All I thought about was death. You know, I'm like leaving my kids, leaving my family. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. So, yeah, I mean, I went home and I was in a depression for like 3 months.
Oh, I know. I know what that's like. I mean, It's hard because people are never prepared to hear the words, you know, it's cancer and you're stage 4, you know. It's like, wait a minute. Like you can't even concept it. You know, it's like, what does this mean? And how long do I have? Right. Because that's all that went through my mind when I found out in 2014.
Right, exactly. And that's all that played in my head for the next 3 months. Am I going to die? I do not want to leave my family, you know? So yeah, that overtook me. So I was in the bed, I mean, honestly, for 3 months, looking at the ceiling, worried, anxiety on high, you know? And I'm like, wondering why me, you know, why
me? Why? I know. I know. I went through the same thing, Monique. It was like, why? Why? You want to know why the diagnosis is even there.
Right. Like,
Why?
and you know what? And like I said, I know how God brought me through, in 2008. I'm like, and I didn't honestly, Jess, I didn't say so much why me. I was like, why stage 4? That was my whole thing. Why stage 4? I could see if maybe, it came back and it was still, stage 2 or something. But, I think I was like, why stage 4? Like,
Now,
why that?
did you, let's go back to 2017, 18 when you found out. I
Mm-hmm.
know you and your husband, had a moment. It was hard to even fathom. You were 3 months at home. When did you tell your children, your boys? Do you remember that?
Yeah, I think I told them the next day, or if not that same day.
And what did they respond?
Now, one thing I can say, like my older one, he takes things better than my younger.
Okay.
So, and I think they were kind of shocked too, because when I told them, they said it was terminal, they was like, what do you mean terminal? What does that mean? Like I said, they said there's no cure. They can only treat it, so they were devastated. They were devastated. But, my oldest one, like I said, he takes things a little bit better than my younger one. Yeah. So my oldest one is, his attitude is like, look, we're going to fight this thing together, so he used to come with me to all my
appointments. Did the doctors tell you at the time when you saw them in 2018, when all this was going on, did they give you more or less a time frame, Monique?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. And did you ever ask?
No, I didn't want that.
I understand.
Because
believe me,
this time frame, I would have worried more,
Yeah.
So, that's why I said, like, when I was in that bed depressed, I said, you know what, God, I noticed that me being depressed like that, it seemed like that was taking me down more. So I said, you know what, this depression gonna kill me faster than this cancer. So I said, God, if you help me get out of this bed, I'm going to live my life every day happy. I said, I just refuse to be like this. I don't want to be depressed anymore. And I prayed. I asked God. I gave myself 2 weeks. I did. I gave myself 2 more weeks to mourn. And I said, after that, my 49th birthday, you getting up out of this bed and you're going to live your life, so.
Okay. Were you already on treatment in those 3 months that you were going through your depression?
I wasn't on treatment the first 2 months, but I was on treatment the 3rd month.
Okay. And that's where you decided to get back up and say, enough with this.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight it and live my life.
Yeah. I told myself, Nikki, snap out of this. You're going to either succumb to this diagnosis or you're going to live with it. So I said, you know what? I'm going to live with it. And I'm going to live my life to the fullest, so that's what I say, that's why I say every day, live your life limitless. You know what I mean? Yes. Don't even let a diagnosis hold you down. And I can say that now, now that I'm not in the depressed state that I was before.
Correct.
So, because only God knows.
And you know what? This is one of the reasons why I want to do videos like this, because I don't think other people know how to deal with their diagnosis. And if they're given a terminal situation, most of them isolate themselves and give up, even before the time that they're given. And right. For me, that's why I'm like, no. We need to get out there and we need to start speaking about the things and the mentality and, what got you through it. I know that you started a radio station, correct? Or a podcast as well?
Well, I started a podcast in the beginning, right? So, which is called Tea Talk and Testimonies.
Yes.
And I think I only did 1 or 2 shows at that time, right?
Okay.
So there was a lady at my church who I love to pieces. Her name is Andrea Elder Hines. Okay. And she said, she was in prayer and God spoke to her my name. She had a radio station. So she said, God spoke to her and told her to give me a show. So what I did was I just transferred my podcast over to her show, which was on ALH Broadcasting. Gotcha. Yeah. So, so I just, I put Tea Talk and Testimonies on ALH Broadcasting, and which is affiliate of the streaming inspirational broadcast network. And I did almost, not even quite a year, almost a year there. So yeah, and I think it was, I'm not sure, probably August or September I ended the show. God said it was just time. You know, it was just time to do other things.
Yeah.
So but I
But
really
did that
enjoyed
help you? Was that kind of like therapeutic for you in a way?
It was therapeutic for me, because just hearing other women, and I didn't only have breast cancer survivors on the show, I had other people, but just hearing other people's stories and seeing what they're going through, because everybody goes through their journey differently.
Correct.
You know, even though we may be on the same medication, doesn't mean that my body is going to respond like your body's going to respond.
Correct.
So everybody's, you know, diagnosis and their journey is just totally different. So everybody has a story to tell. You know, so I just wanted people to be able to tell their story.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very therapeutic, and it's very helpful to other people when they hear other people's stories and they hear how people are just making it through. You know,
I've been watching you for a while now, and I met you when you were still doing Tea Talk and Testimonies, and I know that you're a very spiritual person as well.
Oh yeah.
How did it take you to get to this point of spirituality to be able to give you the strength and the courage that you have today? A lot of people don't have faith, Monique. So how did you get to this point?
Okay, well, let me say this too, because like you said, and you hit on a very great point. But you know what? A lot of people do have faith, but when they're hit with something like this, they lose faith. So yeah, but that's where you have to be rooted and really just planted in God. You really have to be rooted and planted and grounded, because a diagnosis like this, I guess, can cause some people to lose faith, because they would be like, you know, God, why me? Why would you do this to me? You know, even if you're living right and doing everything right, people will probably be like, why would you do this to me? You know, I'm living right. I'm doing this for you. And, you know, so my thing is, you have to know that if God did it for you before, he could do it again.
Amen.
You see, because one thing I say is, we can't depend on man. You know, the doctors, they go to school to practice. So, but God knows everything, you know, he's the author and the finisher of our faith, right? So he's the great physician. So all my trust, I had to put it in God. You know, I had to tell God, look, no matter what these doctors tell me, God, I know that you're the one who has the final say. So I just believe that staying in your word, keeping your relationship with God, and just trusting him. That's the main thing. You have to trust God, okay? Because faith without works is what? It's dead, right? So if we don't put our faith to work, I mean, what good is it? So I had to really and truly put my faith to work now. I had to really trust God.
So what did you do for yourself to build your spirituality? What did you do?
Well, I had to continue, you know, like reading my word. I had to continue just praying to God, you know, and when
did you throw yourself more at, you know, different preachings and services and, you know, just to try to get through the day? For me, I know that I had weak moments, Monique, really weak moments. And when I didn't feel like I could speak to anyone or no one would understand me, I would search, you know, for different pastors. I would, you know, even go to different services because I needed to be filled in the spirit. I needed to be filled.
Right.
You know, I felt like I was losing my mind at one point. You know?
Yeah. And I can't really say that I've, you know, I've not ran to, but that I've had to tune into like a lot of different pastors, you know, and there's nothing wrong with listening to different pastors, you know, as long as they speak in the word, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's what's gonna work for you. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's why I'm saying, like, I know that everybody handles it differently.
Right.
You know,
right.
For me, I was just trying to find answers every which way I could.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, and that happens. And that when people are trying to find answers like that and they're not getting the answers they want, sometimes that's what they do. They tend to go and listen to this one, to that one, to this one. But thank God I had a bishop who has so much wisdom that really he's like really the only one I had to listen to, other than the Lord, so, and like I say, I would listen to like little, snippets of little sermons, like from TD Jakes and stuff like that. But I don't know, it was just nothing that filled me like my bishop and God. So, yeah, I mean, that's really who I went to. And I just really kept myself busy doing things. I had to find things that would keep my mind busy and occupied. And
so what are you doing today now? What keeps you occupied? What keeps Monique going now?
Now is jewelry. I'm doing my
I've seen you. And believe me, you are a talented woman. You need to let people know about your page. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People need to know that even though we're going through a diagnosis, there's still a reason for us to keep dreaming and living. When you stop dreaming and living, then what's the point?
Right.
You might as well just say, I give up. That's not the case. For me, I love speaking. I've always been a public speaker. This is why I'm so adamant about building my YouTube channel, educating the world. Thank God I was able to put out my book and put some knowledge there. But in the end, I just want to share with other women. I want to share with other people that they still can believe in something bigger than themselves. And that's always hope. I myself was given 1 year, Monique. 7 years later, here we are talking today. And I mean, I didn't know. I thought stage 4 was a final stage as well until I turned around, just like you, saw my chart and it said stage 5. And I said, there's a stage 5? I didn't realize there was a stage 5. And wait a minute, what does that mean? When I asked the oncologist, she said, you're in final stages, Jessica. And I'm like, well, I've been final stages since 2014. You know what I mean? I'm like, you all said my time frame was so much anyway. But every day, it is now my job, Monique, to try to beat the odds and continuing to live a quality of life. I do not want to suffer. I do not want to live my life, in pain or in bed where I can't get up and enjoy my day with my loved ones.
Right.
That's where I come in and say, I got to take care of my body. And how are we going to do that? Well, supplements, nutrition, all these different things that we're not used to have to come into our lives and say, okay, I need to start setting priorities. I know that at the beginning of this video, before I started recording, we were talking about nutrition and how difficult even eating healthy is hard.
It's hard, very hard.
It's hard, but it ain't a choice anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, look, no, it's always a choice.
You're right.
You can either choose to do it or you don't,
That's true.
Do you want to live? Do you want to live?
Yeah.
Treat your body right. Like I said, these are our temples that God gave us. And, look, we haven't always treated it right, because we would put a lot of junk in our bodies. And like they say, you are what you eat, right? So, yeah. And like I say, I'm not there yet. I'm still trying to do it, Is it hard? Of course it is, because like I said, I'm a sweet eater. I love junk. I
used to love chocolates, I was, before my diagnosis, I'm not kidding you. If you saw Jessica without a chocolate bar, that would have been insane. I had chocolates in my bag all the time. I was a hairdresser. I was on my feet 24/7. Hairdressers always put themselves second, don't eat lunch. We're eating crazy hours. So the fastest thing is just let me get a chocolate bar. Give me some energy.
Yeah.
Just something to keep going. I understand that I did a lot of damage to myself, but we didn't realize it at the time.
Right, exactly.
And then You get this diagnosis and you're going, oh my goodness, how am I going to change it? It's never too late. If
No.
you're a day above ground, even with the diagnosis, you have been given an opportunity.
Right.
We still have a chance.
Absolutely. And
And
look,
that is a choice.
and it is a choice. And that's why I say, Jessica, when I was first diagnosed in 2008, I did good eating for that first year or two. Okay.
I know.
And then I went back to the old Nikki,
I
you know,
know.
so I'm like, oh gosh, that's why I say it has to be a lifestyle change. It really does.
It does.
You know, and I think within them 9 years of me being cancer-free, 10 years being cancer-free, I went back to the old eating habits, you know? So, and I didn't think about it. I guess because I was in remission, I'm like, okay, the cancer's in remission, you know, I could go back to eating the way I used to. No, you just can't do it. And I know that now. Now I know that, you know? So, yeah, it's very hard, but it's just a choice that you have to make. You know, you either want it or you don't.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
So, and like I said, I still fall short. I still, you know, I love chips, you know, so and I think it's just the crunch. I love food that have a crunch. So, I mean, yeah, there's times I still eat chips. I had some the other night and I woke up, my sugar was high. I said, it probably was them darn chips.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you're like, God, but they were so
yeah.
good. I know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, where is your cancer diagnosis in 2021? We're in 2021, Nikki. We made it this far.
Made it this
you know?
far. Yeah.
Where
So,
are you right now?
Well, you know, it's still, it's just in just about every bone still. And, you know, from the head down and it's in my liver, you know. So, yeah. And like I say, my focus is really and truly, you know, getting them tumors to shrink on my liver. You know, I need my liver, that's for sure, you know, to live. So, that's really my concern, you know, having the tumors really shrink, that's, you know, on my livers. And I know a lot of people who have lived, I mean, I've seen somebody live 17 years with it on their bones. Okay, the bones is, I guess I could probably deal with it if it was on my bones too, you know, but I just have such a concern with it being on my liver. You know, I don't let it, you know, overtake me and thinking about it so much. I don't do that, you know, because I give it to God. But
Right.
I just want, you know, I want this medication to work because I've been through, this is my 5th line of treatment now, you know?
I do know. And every treatment has a different side effect.
Right.
And believe me, they come with side effects.
Yes.
You know, what we try to do is pray to God that whatever treatment they put us on has minimal side effects compared to whatever we've had in the past. Exactly. So I 100% understand you, Nikki. I do.
Yeah.
If you could say one thing about your cancer journey, what has it taught you and what would that be?
It's taught me resilience, you know. I mean, it has taught me resilience, and it has really taught me that I'm really stronger than I thought I was, you know. So that's why I say you have to really and truly build up your faith. You know, you have to build up your faith and know that, you know, greater is he that's in you. You know, it really is, because I'm telling you, if I didn't have God, you know, and it's only through his strength that I'm here, you know, and making it. You know, so, but it just taught me, it's really taught me to just fight every day, fight and live every day, you know, to the fullest. So, I
see you're doing your jewelry. I mean, beautiful jewelry that you do. So, I mean, are you only selling on Facebook right now, Nikki?
Yeah, only on Facebook.
Okay, well, we need to look for Monique Green on Facebook because she does amazing jewelry for the world to see. I mean, whether it's a gift for yourself or a gift for someone, I highly recommend it because the woman is talented. Amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, so my website, you know, they can even go to my website, which brings them to Facebook because that's where my gallery is.
What's your website?
It's called Adove Accessories, ADOVE Accessories.com. So AdoveAccessories.com. And it'll bring you right to Facebook. It'll show you the gallery and what I do. And, you know, my jewelry is made to order, you know, and like I said, it's what you want. So I'm doing it, you know, for you. You know, like I said,
let me ask you, how does your family support what you do?
Look, I mean, they just love it. They peek in the room sometimes and they be like, she's still here doing that jewelry, you know. But I mean, they love it. They don't, you know, interfere
but
with
it's what keeps you going. So they see that glow in you. It's what keeps Monique Green looking into something else, or just making that next creation that you're gonna be proud of. You know?
Yeah. It's a motivation.
It's a motivation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, because like I said, I've had so many people say, wow, from when you started to now, you have really done some nice things, you know.
You have, girl. I've been watching your jewelry. I'm like, wow, girl's getting down, you know.
I'm trying, you know. So
well, you know what? You're doing an amazing job. And you know what? Just the fact that you're putting life out there, Monique. And I think that's what it is. Most people who are diagnosed, and even when I come out in videos, people say, you know, Jessica, you're so strong, you're so this, you're so that, you don't give up, you don't. And I'm like, well, what would be the point in giving up and you got nothing to live for if you've got nothing to look forward to, Monique?
Right.
I just don't understand that concept. I'm like, I don't have I look at life this way. I don't have time to die because I have, you know, a video next week, or I have, and it's something I love to do.
Right. You have too much to do to want to die. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You know, I don't want to stop. I don't want to, you know.
Right.
It's what I enjoy doing. And that's where I think people need to, they may have a diagnosis. They may be going through, you know, storms in their life, but find what makes you happy. And that's what they need to find. Where did that spark go? It doesn't matter if we're fighting a sickness or disease, we still can find a sparkle at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And this is why I say too, Jessica, because let me tell you something. And that's why I say everything is at its appointed time. You hear me? Because back in the days when I was younger, I always wanted to act. I always wanted to model. I always wanted to have a jewelry line. Okay. I always wanted to have a talk show.
Okay.
All those things did not manifest until I got sick. Now, let me tell you something. Things happen for a reason. Okay.
That's right.
I was a big procrastinator. And I will say that there's times that I still procrastinate. But had this not had happened, my diagnosis, maybe all these things that are now manifesting would not have happened. Right. You know, because I would have thought like I thought back then. I still got time. You know, I still got time.
Yeah.
But I say, you know, dreams really and truly, they don't die. You know, sometimes we lose the enthusiasm of doing something, but it's still there in the back, you know? So it's like when all this happened to me and I was diagnosed, it's like God brought all those things back, all those things that I wanted to do. You know why? Because that diagnosis made me feel like, you know what? I don't have time to play around no more.
That's right.
So whatever I want to do, I'm going to do it now.
Talk is cheap. You either do what you do or you ain't going to ever do it at all. And you don't want to live life with regret, do you?
Right. No, you don't. And that's why I said too, God is just, he has a way that's mighty sweet. Okay. Like I said, okay, I never had the opportunity to get out there and act. Okay. But I always said I wanted to like be a co-host on a show or something. Not really a host. Cause look, I'm not a talker. And people be like, you not a talker? Yes, you are. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, you do good.
Yeah. And you know, and I'm like, wow. So I'm telling you, something just said, you know what? Write down the things that you want to do. And at first I called it a bucket list, you know, but when my bishop said, no, you don't say no bucket list, because a bucket list is limited. You know, that's limited.
Right.
You know?
You're giving yourself a time frame.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I changed it. I said, you know what? This is my live list. So that's what I say now. Every time I'm living out my live list, you know, and I said, I want to be on the talk show. I want to be on the talk show and be a third co-host.
And you did it.
And I did it. I said, I don't know where that drive came from, but I said, I'm getting ready to email some people that I like, you know.
And you got to go on Good Morning America.
Yes.
That was amazing. That's amazing.
I had such a good time.
And you know what? It was fulfilling things that you dream of that keep you alive even today. Because nobody, Monique, could take that memory away from you.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You know?
And that's why I tell people, I don't care. It's never too late. Do the things that you want to do and do it now. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait for something to happen, you know, to say, you know what, I'm going to get ready to do this now. You know, don't wait for something to happen. Do it now. Okay. You know, because look, now I know we don't have time to waste.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Exactly. But I'm just glad, you know, that I'm still fulfilling some of the things that I wanted to do, you know. And
well, I look up to you, whether you know it or not, sister, because I know that you have the same drive, you got the same mentality, you got the same courage, you know, your spirituality. You know, I look at you like a soul sister. You know, we may not, we've never met face to face, but I know that we share a lot of a similar journey, and yet we're out there advocating for other people that no matter if we have a terminal diagnosis and given guidelines, time frames, whatever it is, we've already surpassed it, Monique, and we're still living. I am not going to go down living as if I'm already dead when I'm still in the flesh.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I'm going to ask you the last question. What would you want others to know about you and remember you by at the end of your life, Monique?
That no matter what I was diagnosed with, I always kept a smile. And I think that's important. I want people to remember me for my smile, you know? Yeah. And that's what I always encourage people to do, you know, to keep a smile on your face, you know, and keep a hello in your mouth. People need that. You know, we don't never know what people are going through. That's people true. Fight battles that we know nothing about, you know, and sometimes if you smile at somebody and say hello to them, do you know they'll make their day?
Yeah.
They probably went through the whole day with nobody saying nothing to them, you know, and just saying hello and smiling at somebody can do it. So I want people to remember me as the smiling lady who always kept a smile on her face no matter what.
You know what? And you have a very, very beautiful smile at that, Monique. You do. It you know, it does bring people in. Believe it or not, I look forward to your videos live sometimes, because even just seeing life through you, you know, is encouraging, it's uplifting, and people really don't know, you know, they take for granted their health and the life they do have when someone like ourselves is battling every day just for even a pain-free day, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But we still keep on pushing forward. And that's the main thing, is live life and just be blessed, embrace it, and do not give up no matter what you do.
No matter what. That's the thing you cannot do, is not give up. Keep hope. Keep hope right there in front of your face. You know, that's what I always keep hope right there. With hope, we have it all. Okay.
We do. Well, Monique, I want to thank you so much for doing this video with me. There's so much more topics that I would love to get in much deeper, but I want to save that for another video.
Okay.
Just because, you know, again, I want to talk, as they say, let's put the white elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about. You know, there is right now in the times that we live in, you know, what are we hiding from? You know, what is truth anymore? We need to bring that out. And maybe if people see a little bit of life in us, that we could be here like human beings speaking across the world, never met each other, but still communicate and share our stories. You know what? To me, I think this is living. This is communicating. This is giving and inspiring one another, than bringing each other down. Absolutely. You know, there's enough negative in the world. Enough.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, and I believe, and I think you're absolutely right. You know, communication is really something that I said the enemy tried to take away from us with this pandemic. You know, but look,
Yes.
thank God for social media, thank God for Zooms, thank God for all these things that we can do to still communicate with one another and even see each other. You know, we
Right.
may
Get
not.
creative. Let's get
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, you know, so hey, we may not be able to physically touch each other and embrace each other, but we can still do that through Zoom. You know, we
That's
can
right.
still see each other and still tell each other how much we love you and everything. So look,
Yes.
let's not take things for granted. You know, let's use what we have, you know, while it's here.
Yes.
Okay, be happy.
Amen.
That's my
I'm
thing. Be
with
happy.
you on that one, 100%. And I
Yeah.
just love and I look forward to even more dreams that you're going to show and continue to have, because I know that you have been working on your list of living. You're going to
Yes.
continue to do so. And just know, Monique, that no matter how many miles away we are from each other, sister, you're always in my prayers.
Same here, darling. I love you and thank
I
you
love
again
you too.
for having the podcast.
You too. God bless you. And I'll
God
keep you
bless you.
posted and let you know when all this is done.
Okay, my dear. Love you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.